You're listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
It is Monday, May 6th. It is National Teacher Appreciation Week.
It is.
Are you appreciating your teachers this week?
I mean, I am.
Me too. We had a little special treat. Well, we do stuff all week long for the teachers at our school.
Oh, that's nice.
Where our son goes. And
do you bring them cupcakes?
Well, not necessarily cupcakes. We have what we now call a wellness plan.
Oh, so not cupcakes.
So we try to do, like, especially like when kids have birthdays, we try to do more health friendly treats.
Carrots?
Yes. Yeah. Fresh fruit, things like that.
Oh, that's fun.
Snacks that aren't all sweets, because think about it. In a class of 17 kids, that's 17 birthdays you're celebrating throughout the year. That's more than one a month. And
a lot of cupcakes.
Now, in my son is in pre-K. Think about that. Anywhere from, and now not all the children are there every day, but anywhere from 10 to 17 kids, all hopped up on sugar from cupcakes.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Totally fine.
Yeah, nap time isn't happening when you do that. So no, but we try to do like nice treats. So I think this morning there was like a small like continental breakfast buffet.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, it was just, I think, like yogurt and muffins or something like that.
Coffee, lots of coffee.
Coffee.
I'm sure that's appreciated.
So I know this was a challenge for you when I asked who are the teachers that influenced you most, and you're like, I've narrowed it down to 15.
Maybe.
All
Yeah,
right,
I think I have one from every year, which is obviously not going to work.
Okay, so you have 20 seconds per teacher then.
I can't do it.
I had a long list as well. Mine is 9, 10, almost 12.
Yeah, I was thinking through it last night, and I was like, I could mention everyone, but I probably shouldn't do that. That would be boring for people who don't know my life story.
All right, so where are the ones that stand out early? Well, let's start with the early years.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm going to start with first grade. Mrs. Glotsober was my teacher in first grade. She is now with Jesus. She taught for a long time, because this is going to sound terrible, but I thought she was old when I had her in first grade, and that was a long time ago. And she still taught up until a few years ago, when she passed away. So, she was fantastic. A lot of kids out there who went through Emmanuel in Dearborn had her as a first grade teacher.
What did you love about Mrs. Glotsober?
So I wrote down 3 things. There's a lot more than this, but so when we were learning our sight words, I guess, I don't know if that's what they were called, she would draw pictures on our flashcards for us, and I'm a very visual person. I didn't know that when I was 6, but there was one word, owls. I remember this. She would trace the scissors on my flashcard and make a picture of an owl out of scissors, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So that's one thing. We had this thing called the skeleton dance, which I'm not sure is kosher now. But it was so cool because we'd turn off the lights and we would crawl under our desks. And this was like the only time that we were allowed to crawl under our desks.
That and earthquake drills.
Yeah, we didn't do those in Michigan.
See, we do here.
At least not back then. And she would play the piano. She was a fantastic piano player. She'd play the piano and she would sing the song, and we would like slowly have to crawl out under our desks and pretend we were skeletons and be all like creepy. And then the music would slow down and then we'd have to crawl back under our desks. And it was so fun. And then the third thing, I know.
We're never going to get through this
These
list.
have nothing to do with academics either, but first grade was amazing. The third thing was indoor recess. Indoor recess was the best in first grade. We had these giant Tinker Toys. They were massive. And so we would put together giant Tinker Toy musical instruments and we would perform. I have no idea what we actually performed. I'm sure it was like a racket, but we thought we were super cool. So we'd put together all of these giant Tinker Toy instruments and then we would play concerts. And I remember we used to invite our principal in and he would nicely sit there and listen to whatever we were doing. But it was so fun. So that's my first grade experience. I'm sure impressive. I learned something too.
Isn't there a late night talk show that still does that with like elementary school musical instruments?
Jimmy Fallon does the
They do popular songs.
Oh, it's great. Maybe that's why I like that so much.
All right, so back to elementary school for me.
We're only going to make it through 2.
I know. We've got like 4 minutes. So elementary school, Miss Besancini was my first grade teacher. Awesome teacher. So many things. I just remember field trips with her, and field day was so fun. She always made it so fun for us. And then I had lots of other cool teachers in elementary school too. But our art teacher that we had from 2nd through 5th grade, she was Miss Obranovich. She was actually a college art professor.
Nice.
We had a college art professor for elementary art.
I'm so jealous.
So we were doing color pastels, oil pastels in 2nd and 3rd grade.
Wow.
And we were doing pottery, like legit pottery in 3rd and 4th grade and 5th grade even. And she and my 5th grade teacher both came to visit me when I was in the hospital in 5th grade. My 5th grade teacher, Connie Wantland, awesome teacher as well. Just really, I think, brought out my love for science and education and, big surprise, theater.
No way.
I know.
You love theater?
Big surprise. She was she was a theater person too. So she taught us drama in 5th grade, which is awesome. So Miss Obranovich, Miss Wantland, all great teachers. And then moving into, are we ready to move into middle school and high school?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I've got 3 left on my list, but I know we're not going to make it through all of them. I had this revelation. I know we have like 3 minutes. I had this revelation that my favorite teachers in middle school and high school were actually my math teachers, which is funny because I'm terrible at math. So they must have done a really great job of teaching me math if they're my favorite teachers. Mrs. Martin in 8th grade, she was like a second mom to us. She took us on our 8th grade class trip, which was very brave. We were a rambunctious class. We went down to Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Wow,
that was an
that's
experience.
A long trip.
It wasn't. We drove
from Michigan.
It was interesting. But she had a lot of fun ways of teaching algebra, and I actually still use it. And so when I do something in algebra, I take a picture and I tag her. I'm like, look, I'm using what you taught me in 8th grade. And then in high school, Mr. Unger, who retired, he was fantastic. He also taught my 2 older brothers. So I had some big shoes to fill. Both of them are engineers and they're good at math.
And he apparently has quite the following, because I saw your comment on Facebook and a bunch of other friends chiming in on how great he was. So
he's fantastic. He has all of these jingles that he would sing to help us remember stuff, or just because he liked to sing in class. I'm not sure. And they were hilarious. And I still sing them in my head every once in a while when someone says a word that's in one of them, and then everyone looks at me weird because nobody has any clue.
So listening up, teachers, those jingles and mnemonic devices really do stick with you.
They really do stick with you. Yeah. But he had super high standards, and he got me through trig calc in high school, which was really impressive because I would not be able to do any of that today.
I'm going to start throwing you some trig and calc questions later on today.
No. Give me some words and some pictures and I'm good.
That would imply that I know something about trig and calc if I were to ask those questions. So, no, ain't happening.
Yeah.
I'm not happening. Sorry, Mr. Brown, my high school English teacher. Yes.
Want. I'm just going to throw in my college one there too, and then you can take it for the rest of the time. Dr. Brown, obviously, my Capella director at Concordia, Chicago. Fantastic. Best memories ever. There you go. I'm done.
Music teachers all the way through, from elementary through high school. Mrs. Fisher in elementary school got me motivated and enjoying music and teaching about public performance. Beth Yancey, who I only had for a couple of years in middle school, but just really developed my love for especially for sacred music. Now, this is public school, by the way.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, that we got to sing such great music, choral music in middle school, and just really got me hooked on that. And I'm so thankful for her. And then in high school, Laura Vaughn was my choir teacher. And I did not realize until I went off to college that high school music teachers don't all have a master's degree in voice pedagogy, and that they teach, individual and small group voice lessons before and after school on their own time, just because they're cool. Yeah, not all high school choir teachers do that. I didn't know that until I went off to college. I was like, oh,
you had it good.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So had basically voice lessons all the way through high school, which was outstanding, a lot of fun. And then my high school theater and speech coach,
of course,
Pat Coffey, and Linda Moore, science teacher. Oh, all of them.
So you listed all of them. I just picked.
Well, I didn't even get to my college professors yet. I'm so sorry. Thank you, teachers. Thank you so much for. And you can blame Pat Coffey for getting me hooked on radio speaking. She was the one in high school.
Oh man, yeah. I do. Yeah.
It's like the award speeches where they start the music.
I know.
You're listening to Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
We're Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@kfuo.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.